Hey everybody, Kimber here from Moksha Yoga and Wellness. Wanted to jam today about Vatadosha and fall and how you can stay balanced during this seasonal transition. So what is Vatadosha? Vatadosha is rooted in the elements of air and space. So it can feel light, ungrounded, mobile, dry, rough, cool. Kind of imagine that in fall, when Vata is most prevalent, we're all getting an extra dose of that dosha, check that out. So it's almost like we're the leaves falling off the trees. We're getting a little dry, a little crumbly, we're just kind of taken wherever the wind goes. So in fall, you may feel a little bit ungrounded, a little spacey, a little bit overwhelmed, like you're lacking follow through, or maybe your time management skills have just gone out the window. And the extreme end of this can be increased anxiety in fall time. Or maybe in your body you feel dry. Maybe you all of a sudden have dandruff or dry skin, or maybe dry digestion. Maybe you're not excavating your bowels every day. Maybe you're a little constipated. I'm here to tell y'all constipation is not normal. Pooping every day is normal. We'll get to that in just a second. So you may just feel a little bit hyperactive and all of this energy is dissipating and you're not grounded, you're not centered. So if that feels like you this fall, or maybe you have gas and bloating, excess air in your digestion, then I really think you could benefit from how to manage the Vata dosha. Instead of that bucket overflowing, you're going to lower the level, bring it back down to what balance looks like for you. So Ayurveda is all about lifestyle and all about the idea that your digestion is the root of all health. So let's start with the diet of fall season. So your mantra can be warm, moist, and grounding. So we want to move away from salads and smoothies and green juices. We want warm, cooked food. Raw is going to be a lot harder for us to digest this time of year when we have so much more air element in our digestive system. So favoring warm cooked foods, even if you're eating leftovers from the last meal, make sure you're warming them up in the oven beforehand, and making sure that everything just has a little bit more water content. It's a little bit more moist. So this is my favorite time of year to pull out the crock pot, and I do soups and stews, and it's so convenient to put it on before you leave for the day and then have it ready for dinner. I also do a lot of bone broth in my crock pot too, which serves me really well through fall and winter. Just lots of minerals, deep nutrition, really deeply nourishing and regenerative. We also want to think about that grounded quality. So we take that spacey, everywhere energy that just has no place to go and channel it down back into the earth. So the way we can do that with our food is a lot of healthy fats, feeling regrounded. So ghee this time of year is fantastic. Ghee is clarified butter. It's a favorite of Ayurveda. You can get it in most health food stores nowadays, or make your own if you would like. But avocado, coconut oil, maybe a little less coconut oil just because it's a little cooling. But if you have a lot of pitta or fire in your constitution, that cooling may be more beneficial to you. So any of those healthy fats that are finally getting the attention they deserve, and people are realizing how great healthy fats are for our bodies. So use them as much as you want when you're cooking this time of year. And then as always with Ayurveda, we want to eat seasonally, so that looks like a lot of squashes, a lot of root vegetables, another way to feel grounded and rooted. Butternut squash, acorn squash, turnips, carrots, beets, all these things that grow under the ground are going to have that quality of groundedness that we're seeking this time of year. So besides our diet, there's also hydration. So if we're following this warm, moist, grounded, how do we stay moist? We stay hydrated. So Ayurveda would say we never want to drink ice water or cold, really cold frozen things. But this time of year, our hydration can even switch to something we couldn't get away with in summer when it was hot outside. But now that it's Vata season, we can actually drink some pretty warm water. So to me, this looks like carrying around a thermos every day. And this isn't like tea water hot, but it's pretty warm. Something where you couldn't take a big gulp, you kind of have to take a little sip. And I found that the warm water is actually just exponentially more hydrating. I don't have to drink as much of it to get the same feeling of hydration as I would if I, chugged 3 liters of cool or room temperature water. So making sure you're staying hydrated, making sure you're staying nice and moist everywhere all around. So we have our diet. What about exercise? So this time of year, Vata is based in movement. It is the force of movement. So in Ayurveda, like increases like. If Vata already has a lot of movement, if you already feel like you're all over the place all the time and can't sit still and can't focus, we don't want to bring a ton more movement to that time. So this is not the time of year when you have to, be on the elliptical or running every single day of the week, right? If we want to balance with the opposite, we want something a little more slow, steady, strong, grounded. So weightlifting this time of year is super, super great if you're feeling excess Vata. And also just walking, hiking, some more chill sorts of exercise. This is not the time when you have to be pushing it hardcore. So that can look like restorative yoga, Tai Chi, anything like that. But maybe skip the HIIT classes this time of year if you're feeling all over the place already. You're just going to add to that by more movement, ungrounded all over. So you have diet, we have exercise. What about sleep? It's really important this time of year that we're getting enough sleep. And if you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night in that 2 to 5 a.m. time, that's a pretty sure sign that you got a lot of Vata going on in your mind, these racing thoughts, these anxieties. So even better that you can ground down, stay warm, stay moist, prevent that Vata bucket from overflowing. And Vata, because it's so ungrounded, routine is really, really helpful. Have something predictable, so your body and your mind know where your energy is going, know when it's going to happen. So this looks like going to bed at the same time every night-ish, waking up around the same time every morning, eating your meals at around the same time every day. But having that predictability, having that schedule is just going to reinforce that grounded, centered quality instead of feeling scattered and wired, right? So what are we doing in our routine from the Ayurveda perspective? What are some other lifestyle choices we can make? So Vata, think of where those leaves falling off the trees are kind of dry, kind of windy. So we want to protect our skin, our biggest sense organ. So if it's really windy outside, making sure you're wearing a scarf covering your neck, ears especially, maybe even part of your face. And then the other great thing we can do for our skin this time of year is a little bit of oil massage. So this isn't like, going to the masseuse and getting lathered up, although it is really nice and I highly recommend it this time of year. This is a practice that we can just do for our own bodies every day, super fast, takes about 5 minutes, and it's about 1 or 2 tablespoons maybe for the whole body. Just long strokes on the long bones, circular strokes on the joints, just a tiny nice little bit of moisture and oil all over the body. So if you're like, oh my gosh, gross, that sounds disgusting, I don't want to be oily all day, I don't want to ruin my clothes, there are lots of different ways you can do this, but trust me, your skin is going to really appreciate it. It's going to help you stay hydrated, it's great for circulation, it's great for moving lymph, really calming to the nervous system, so many benefits. I love this practice. So if you're worried about getting gross, you can do it before you get in the shower, and then the water will rinse off the excess oil. Just make sure that you scrub the bottom of your shower so the person after you doesn't get in and slip if it's a little bit slippery. You can also do it in the shower, which can actually work better than you may think. Even though water and oil don't mix, your pores are really open and you're really warm, so it's easy to get your body to absorb that oil. Or if you're really dry and really like the oil, you can do it after your shower, still when you're nice and warm and hot right after the shower. Rub that oil in and it's going to absorb really quickly into your skin after that. Maybe just wear a robe around for a few minutes afterwards if you're worried about your clothes. But really, I absolutely love this practice. The one thing you want to avoid is if you are cold and the oil is cold. Remember, Vata season, warm, moist, grounded. So what you don't want to do is just sit on your cold bathroom floor and just rub cold oil on you. So the other alternative, if you don't want to do this around a shower where you're not warm, is you can make the oil warm. So I actually have a baby bottle warmer in my bathroom, which works really, really well. I just take some oil out of the big bottle, put it in a smaller container, warm it up, and then I'm ready to go. But you could also just, heat some water on your stove top and put a little bit of oil in a smaller container there. But what you don't want to do is put your entire bottle of oil and warm that up every single time because the oil will go rancid. So you really want to store the big bottle someplace cool and dry and then just pull it out as you need. So this time of year, we're looking at some good medium-bodied oils, sunflower oil, almond oil. If you're really Vata and really cold, maybe you're having poor circulation in your extremities, maybe your hands and feet are always cold, you can even do a sesame oil, which is really, really warming, which can help with all of those Vata issues. So this isn't like the toasted sesame oil that you get from the cooking aisle, but if you go to, in most health food stores, kind of the self-care aisle, go past all the face moisturizers and all of that, most of them are having an oil section like this nowadays. So give that a try. If you really love essential oils, you can play with putting essential oils in some of these. Can be really, really nice. So great way to stay warm and moist and grounded in fall time with Vata. So other parts of the routine, making sure you're getting enough sleep, making sure you're doing things at the same time every day. What was I gonna say? So I also promised we'd talk about this other side of digestion, elimination, which is so important. And sometimes in fall time, when Vata dosha is acting up, we can get a little bit irregular and have days where we don't have a bowel movement, which is not great for our bodies. I'm here to tell you, it's been normalized in our society, but we really want to be eliminating every day. So how to troubleshoot if you're not emptying your bowels every day? First, go back to the hydration piece, making sure that you're getting enough water in this dry time of year. Some folks actually really like to get up and just drink a bunch of water first thing in the morning because that kind of jump starts the bowels, triggers peristalsis, gets things moving. So that's one option. The second option is there are some herbal supplements that can be really helpful. So the first is magnesium, which can also be a really great sleep aid, so taking that right before you go to bed. Or there's an Ayurvedic herb called Triphala, Triphala, which is available at most health food stores or online at Banyan Botanicals, my favorite Ayurvedic herb supplier, which is really great. It tonifies the colon, very, very, very slight laxative, just keeps things moving, great for digestive health, really subtle detox, just one of my favorite Ayurvedic herbs out there, so give that one a try as well. And also look at your diet, making sure you're getting enough fiber to move stuff along, or there's some pooping superfoods, as I like to call them, that can help get the job done as well. One of those is beets. So roasted beets, throwing them on top of another dish or roasting them with a bunch of other vegetables, really, really great at moving stuff along. Chia seeds as well, great for breakfast foods. Or apples. There's something in the skin of the apples that is really great at moving along our digestion. So a raw apple this time of year, just because it's cold and raw, may not be the best for balancing Vata dosha. So think about cooked apples, think about stewed apples, pan fry them up in some ghee, whatever sounds good. Great breakfast dish or great appetizer before a meal. Remember in Ayurveda, fruit digests faster because it's just sugar. So we don't want to eat it after a meal where it'll get stopped up by the rest of the food that we ate. So before a meal, or as a snack. So one last thing when we're talking about Vata, like increases like, we balance with the opposite. So I know myself included, a lot of us this time of year can feel pulled to just cram our schedules and do all the things and be running and going and blowing, when really we could be balancing with the opposite of that, which is slowing down, turning the energy inward, taking some quiet time this time of year. It's a great time to do a detox or a cleanse as we're transitioning between seasons, and a really great time to slow down, spend some time in nature, spend some time with your journal. I know it's so tempting to just go and do all the things, but that's just more Vata, which is what we're trying to bring back to our center. So I hope you'll find this helpful and staying, on the right course this time of year with everyone having a little bit more Vata dosha going on. So let me know what questions you have and I'll make another video with some really easy fall recipe ideas. But thanks so much and I'll see y'all soon.